This might be a super special father-daughter edition.
Well, if it was just you and me, it would definitely be a very special father-daughter edition. And it might very well be that.
Nick came over last night and I was like, did you see what time the pod is? He's like, I will try, but I am making no promises.
Yeah, I know what try means. Try means I'm not going to be there under any circumstances.
Try means I thought about it and considered it and said no.
Yes, that's exactly what try means. Well, that's okay. We can press forward without anyone. We don't need anyone.
I don't need no stinking support crew.
No, not at all. We don't need any comedy or comic relief for this pod. Not at all.
No,
just
we're super serious.
Yeah, just an engineer and her middle-aged father talking. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be hilarious.
It'll be great. It'll be fine.
It'll be great. It'll be fine. Might as well get right to it. Welcome to a very special father-daughter edition of A Shin Show. I'm your host, Pete Shin, from an undisclosed location on the East Coast. Joining me, my daughter, Sarah, from an undisclosed basement underground bunker location in the Midwest. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
Yeah, it is morning. This is an unusual episode, in part because it's taken place in the morning rather than the evening, as is our custom.
It's early.
It sure is. That's why we look so fantastic. We roll out of bed just looking like, well, supermodels, really.
That's right. Too bad you can't see us.
So you'll have to take our word for it. Well, Sarah, let's start, as we often do, with some personal news. Got any personal news? I'll let you think about that while I share with you my always compelling personal news. You got to admit, my personal news is among the most compelling you've ever heard. Between deck staining and whatnot, it's really always super gripping.
It's just been riveting my whole life.
Exactly. And this is going to be among the most riveting news you've ever heard. We had a fire in the backyard last night. Not one that was unintentional. It was an intentionally set fire because, as you know, since you've been here, in the undisclosed location on the East Coast, we have in our backyard a fire pit. So we kindled a blaze in that fire pit and then roasted weenies and had some friends over. Pretty exciting stuff, am I right?
I mean, the excitement just kind of dwindled the longer you went on. But yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, it was terrific. And then today, super exciting, here at the undisclosed location, pouring rain, gray skies, very autumnal weather. So we're going to go ahead and go to a funeral.
Oh, fitting.
Yeah.
Very seasonal.
It is. It's like pumpkin spice or the McRib, something you do in the autumn. You know, you go to a funeral.
Why else are you going to don all your black?
Exactly.
Because you look good? I don't think so.
Well, I might just don black because I look good. I could do that. I've been known to do it. But in this case, no, I'm donning black to go to a funeral. And not just any funeral, Sarah. No. It's a funeral of a relative I've never met.
Oh, those are the best kind.
They sure are. Because they don't know me, I don't know them. Anything's possible. I can just go crazy.
Yeah, don't do that.
Spice the funeral up a little bit. Bring a little pumpkin spice to the funeral.
Do not pumpkin spice the funeral.
I don't know. All right, okay. If you say so. So anyway, we'll drive out there. Out there being about 3.5 hours away.
Gross.
Right? And then, be sad. And then drive 3.5 hours back. Sounds good, doesn't it?
I mean, it's very fitting for a Sunday, I feel like.
I guess.
Reflective.
Right.
I'm sure there'll be churchy things. It'll all, yeah.
Do you think I should be pensive at the funeral?
I think you should at least give the appearance of it.
Right? Or should I be more wistful?
Well, considering you've never met the individual.
The decedent?
The deceased. Yes. I mean, you could be. Maybe the deceased reminds you of one of your lost relatives.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. Well, it's an older lady who died of Alzheimer's. So.
Oh, well, there you go. I don't think we've had anyone in our family with Alzheimer's.
No way, man. Our brains are way too powerful for that.
Yeah, we just, heart disease all the way through.
That's right. We power through that brain plaque. We don't have time to develop brain plaque when our hearts are giving out. Am I right?
Left and right. That's right.
That's exactly it. So that's my personal news. Did it spark any personal news for you, Sarah Shin?
I mean, I got my hair dyed on Wednesday. That was pretty nice.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. It looks pretty much like it always does, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of pulled back right now, so I can't see it.
Yeah, and I have yet to take a picture that does it justice, but it's very purple.
Oh,
purple
really?
and gray. Yeah.
Purple and gray. Going for the early old unicorn look or something.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you're satisfied with how it turned out, at least?
Yeah. For the amount I paid for it, I better damn well be satisfied.
Really? Well, I don't want to get too personal, but how much did you pay for this hair dye job?
I mean, it's a mid-tier salon, so a decent amount.
Are we talking 3 figures here?
Yeah.
Oh, so we're talking we're talking $400? No.
It was a $200 haircut.
Okay, well, you know what? That's how much it takes to look excellent. That's how much it takes. I mean, if it takes $400 to look excellent.
Well, no. No.
Okay.
Look, the lady came back to me with the pricing before she started anything, and I was like, ooh.
Right. Can we just do the purple? Can we skip the gray? Let's just do the purple.
Yeah. Let's just look. I'm going to do it myself. Okay. You can supervise and let's call it an even 50.
Right. What's the discount? What's the discount for me doing it while you look?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't do that. Obviously you went ahead and paid them, and it looks great. I think.
Thanks.
Sure. I don't know. Yeah. I can't really see it. I mean, it's kind of.
I mean, I did just kind of roll out of bed. So
yeah.
But I appreciate the effort.
No problem. All right. Well, good. Great news. Because our personal news is pretty good. That's good. Because the news this week it's been crazy. It's been insane news. It's been an insane news week. Oh, you haven't heard any of what's been going on?
I've heard a few things, but I tend to kind of just ignore most of it because I get all my news here.
Oh, I see.
Here, fresh.
Hey, guess who's joining us? It's no longer a special father-daughter episode.
It can be. I can leave.
No.
I don't want to infringe on any special time.
Well, no, it's not infringe. I don't know. Well, I guess we better let Sarah. Is it an infringement to have Elsie here? I can throw her ass right out.
No way, man. Now we overpower you. We outnumber you. You're surrounded on all sides.
That's true. So I think Sarah wants the emotional support. She needs.
I mean, look, I'm not pressuring anyone into anything. I'm just also
not. The dog's crying too, so at least I'm ruining things for everyone.
Oh, the dog's fine. Don't you worry about a thing. Elsie can't hear a thing you're saying, by the way, Sarah, because she doesn't have her headphones in. So she didn't hear you say that you both were going to overpower me. I don't know if this is a physical overpowering or a mental overpowering or what.
Why not both? False choice.
Well, why not physically and mentally overpower me and then destroy me?
I'll punch him in the face while you say mean things.
Well, all right then. We were just talking about the fact that we were going to a funeral today. That's all. And I was going to pumpkin spice it up.
Pumpkin spice funeral. Yes.
Well, it's seasonal. That's the whole point. It's seasonal to go to a funeral in the rain in October.
It is. And then I'm sure we can stop by some apple places and get some apple treats along the way as well, because this is out in Western Maryland in the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah,
so apple, maybe some pumpkin treats. That's the whole. We're gonna pumpkin spice this thing up. That's the whole point.
I tell you, there's an orchard down by Nebraska City that has the best caramel apples, and I was just saying yesterday how much I wanted one, but I'm too lazy to go to make the drive. So
I'm familiar with that orchard, and what they really make that's bomb.com is those apple cinnamon donuts. Oh my God.
No, this is a different orchard, but those are the best donuts.
A different orchard? I'm afraid I only recognize the one. The other one of which you speak doesn't exist for me. It's a false choice.
It's not false, because if you had ever had these carameled apples, you would remember it.
Well, I guess I never did. I don't know. I have a picture,
mix
though.
It with peanut butter.
Do you? Ooh. Well, you've got me there.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Now, do I recall correctly from previous episodes that you're a basic bitch when it comes to pumpkin spice?
Oh, Jesus. I'm such a basic bitch.
Have you tried the pumpkin spice frosted flakes?
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't eat breakfast. And like, if I eat cereal for dinner, the whole box disappears. So I tend to just not keep it in the house.
I see. Well, I guess you'd go ape for these pumpkin spice frosted flakes, apparently.
I mean, I tell you, Scooters, which is the local Starbucks, I have sampled nearly everything pumpkin spice on that menu multiple times. I love this season. I love pumpkin spice everything.
Well, I sure wish you could join us at this funeral. You'd really be a nice addition.
Yeah, I am the pumpkin spice.
We're going to roll ourselves in pumpkin spice before we go.
Oh, I think that's nice.
Smell fabulous.
Oh, yeah, we're going to smell just like the season. Well, so, yeah, I'm thinking maybe we should go to a pumpkin patch on the way.
In the rain,
Yeah,
of course, so we can
course.
show up bedraggled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Muddy, carve pumpkins at the gravesite. Festive.
It is festive.
It's going to be great. No, so Sarah's personal news is she got a $400 haircut.
It was $200, and that's still a lot of money, and it looks fabulous.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you can't tell that it looks fabulous. I mean, no. Elsie's staring at the screen incredulously.
You can't tell, no, but...
So did you do any...
purple.
Okay, so it was a cut and color.
Yeah.
That suddenly makes the price sound correct.
And reasonable, relatively. Anyway, so she did that. That's her personal news. What's your personal news, since you're horning in here to overpower me, physically and mentally?
Emotionally.
I can horn the fuck out.
No, all right.
Don't need to be here and put up with your shit.
See, this is the overpowering portion.
I've been stuck in a car with you for 7 hours today.
Right.
That's short.
Right. I'm glad we're starting it out with a chat. My personal news is mostly involving dealing with some parental situations
that we can't really disclose here from the undisclosed location.
Not entirely. But it all started with Brad took his phone out to take a picture of something and activate his debit card, which has been a 2-month-long saga to get his debit card sent to the right address.
Which he lost to begin with, but then, anyway.
Noticed his phone didn't have a case. I was like, interesting. Take another look at it, realize it's cracked. So that led to a whole swiping of the phone and weeping and gnashing of teeth. But it all came out all right when you realized, hey, the options are either I swipe your phone and keep it until you go buy a case for it, or you can pay us $350 for what you owe on it still. And then, explaining if the car gets a flat tire, you stop driving it. So it was a growing moment where all teenagers have to transition at some point in time from thinking of parents as the man to, oh, you're on my team and you're actually looking out for me and trying to teach me shit. So it worked out all right.
Also, you have to take care of your material things. It sucks.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Interesting. So that wasn't the parental lesson I took from that, but that's okay. I mean, we don't have to go into the whole...
What lesson did you take, Peter?
Well, the lesson I took is that Bradley's quite the Lothario. Quite the Valentino.
That's not the story we're talking about.
I
okay.
didn't think so.
Okay.
Anyway,
I would like to unsubscribe from this content.
Yes.
Well, let's just say that while the phone was in Elsie's possession, she did a little checking. That's all.
Yesterday Nick came over and I replaced his phone case and his screen cover, and our brother-in-law was over and he was like, I can't believe you gave her your phone. And I was like, oh, I know better than to do anything. Like, I would like to power it off at this particular moment, but I have to make sure that the edges of the screen all line up, okay?
Yeah.
I have a sense of self-preservation.
Right. I'm surprised you didn't remove the SIM card before starting.
I should have.
Well, that was a nice sisterly thing to do for you. Very nice. Yeah. Very, very thoughtful, very engineering. Hey, I got a quick question for you. Have you thought of becoming a professional engineer, a PE?
I mean, I could, but it's not necessary for my field because I don't do hardware.
Right. So you're just going to remain in. You should put UPE after your
unprofessional engineer.
Yes, exactly. Or better yet, AE, amateur engineer. That would be good.
Sure,
too.
That's an architectural engineer, but nice try, bud.
Yeah, well, I mean. It's not like anyone's going to question you. Oh, you're an AE. Oh, I see.
That's true. That's true. If you just slap letters at the end of your name, a lot of people will just become impressed and then intimidated and refuse to actually ask you anything.
That's a good point right there.
Yeah. I have a friend who completed his FE, I believe.
Yeah, fundamentals of engineering.
Yeah, to become a PE.
Right.
He said it was hard. And so I was like, oh, cool. Nope, I'm good.
I'm out.
I'm out on that.
Yeah.
He does actual like circuit design and shit. So I was like, good for you.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Mm-mm.
You could. You're trained for it.
I did.
Classically trained.
I decided that's not for me, yo.
Classically trained. Right.
A classically trained engineer. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Well, which is why you do such a good job of designing violins and so forth.
That's right.
That's right. All right. So personal news is over.
What was your personal news?
That we had guests over last night and had a blazing fire. And then that we're going to this dinner.
It started off strong and mysterious and then just slowly dwindled into boring,
into pumpkin spice funerals.
There you go.
Yeah.
But we were just getting started on world news, of which I know nothing.
Yeah. Oh, really? I don't see how you could hardly have avoided it this past week.
Well, why don't you hit me with some things and I'll tell you what I have blacked out and what I haven't heard.
Okay, so we withdrew from Syria and then quickly hammered out a so-called ceasefire, which Turkey views as a pause of operations in northern Syria. So we pulled all our troops out, and then the Syrian Democratic Forces, formerly known as our allies, quickly reached an agreement with the government of Bashar al-Assad in Syria so that Assad's troop would come fill the void left by us. And of course, Assad's troops are accompanied by Russians. So Russians and Syrian regime forces are now occupying northern Syria along with the Syrian Democratic Forces. Meanwhile, there's a pause in operations for Operation Peace Spring, which is what was launched by Turkey, while they say they're going to clear out all those SDF terrorists, formerly our allies.
Yeah, I did hear that because Trump said something along the lines of they need to fight it out like children.
Yeah, that's a very sensible.
That was a very mature
absolutely.
approach to our,
yeah,
world negotiation.
As it were. Yes. And then there's a whole thing where President Trump was going to host the G7 at his Doral facility resort.
I saw that briefly this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, he backed out of that. Changed his mind.
Well, it's not like that would directly benefit him financially or anything.
No, not at all. He was going to do it at no cost. He was going to get no benefit from it.
Right.
Of course not.
Yeah, but now because Democrats have gone crazy.
And like they do.
Those wacky Dems. Anyway, so they backed President Trump off of that, apparently. And then his chief of staff, I forget his first name, Mick Mulvaney. What a name. Anyway, Mick Mulvaney held a press conference in which he said, of course there was a quid pro quo for the assistance to military aid to Ukraine. Of course there was. And then a few hours later he said, what I meant was of course not. And so just because I said of course there was, don't be fooled. I meant of course not.
Look, I said one thing, but I clearly meant the opposite, okay?
Exactly.
Don't you guys know that's how politics works?
You know what it all was.
You're calling me out on it doesn't mean that I meant it.
Yeah. So it's an entirely new week of things that you just don't know what's real and what's not.
It's almost like these people are totally unqualified for the position in which they were elected.
Sounds weird. I don't know. I don't think that can happen in America. All right. No. So anyway, all that shit happened. And then yesterday, so in Brexit news, I know not everyone is following Brexit news, but I'm absolutely fascinated by it. So, Britain is trying to leave the European Union on a vote that widely was regarded now as manipulated by Cambridge Analytica. But that's a whole other story, okay? Anyway, the bottom line is that they voted to leave the European Union, but they can't do it for a whole variety of reasons because it turns out it's really, really complicated. And so Boris Johnson, also known as President Trump's little brother from Britain, anyway, Boris Johnson went ahead and got a new deal that looks exactly like the old one that Theresa May had. And unsurprisingly, Parliament rejected it. And so now they're kind of back to the drawing board. They've got to get another extension from the European Union. And ultimately, it increases the odds of a second vote by the British people on this. So it'll be interesting to see how that continues to shake out. It's extraordinary times. Just crazy.
It's almost like so they wanted to do this Brexit thing, had no real idea of what it would take or how they would do it, but got people all riled up with good marketing. And now they're in the shit.
Exactly. Well, excellent summary. Anyway, so that's all the things that happened this week. I think. I can't really tell because I can't tell the difference between reality and falsehood.
That's rough for your whole job and all that. So.
Right. Looks like you really suck at your job.
Right. As usual. Yeah, that's true. I do. Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah, lay it on me.
You, Elsie.
Oh, shit.
This is a good question. I wish Nick was here for this one, but we'll save it for later for him. So if you suddenly disappeared right now, what different actions have you performed in the last 24 to 48 hours that people would think is related to your disappearance?
Probably going to a pumpkin spice funeral.
You haven't done it yet.
Well, that's in the past 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
You haven't done that.
that would be related to my disappearance. I think undoubtedly people would think that having a spooky bonfire.
It was not spooky.
Well,
it's nothing spooky.
Don't you do that like every other weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm grasping at straws here. I don't think people would be absolutely shocked by my disappearance, frankly. Like, well, he was just here, they'd say.
Wait a minute. At one point, when I left the house yesterday with Brad to go take pictures of this homecoming dance situation, I do remember hearing the words, "I've got to go get groceries," to which I incredulously said, "What groceries?" As if we hadn't just gone grocery shopping the day before. And he said, groceries.
So, like, groceries.
That's true. That's a good point. Had I never shown back up.
Right. I've been like, oh, what are these groceries do you buy?
Right.
Well,
What about you, Sarah?
Just keep a drop bag in their house or anything.
Right.
Right. I'm just going to go ahead and take the go bag and go get some groceries.
Right. Now, what about you, Sarah?
In the past 24 to 48 hours, I mean...
Nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went to Nebraska City on Friday instead of Saturday. So, like, that was a big shakeup in our routine. That's probably about it.
Last known location, Nebraska City.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are plenty of meth heads down there, so maybe, but...
Yeah, I think that's questionable. What about you, Elsie?
I had a pampered chef party, so maybe I was stabbed with all the knives. I don't know.
Right.
A lot of suspects.
Yeah, a lot of suspects. Everyone she invited who was felt compelled to show up.
Oh, I guess this is a bit of personal news and could be related to the 24 to 48 hours thing.
Yes.
And that is Sandy moved out. So now Murphy and I are completely alone in this big old house that we specifically bought for 4 people.
Wow.
That's interesting. So where did Sandy go? Now, Sandy is your beloved sister-in-law.
Yes. Who moved in with us to go to college and then graduated and stayed for a few years while she got her feet under her. So now she's got her feet under her and she's gone.
She's all
gone.
later, bitches.
Yeah. So where'd she go?
She and Ben got an apartment downtown closer to where they both work. They both work near the zoo.
I didn't know Ben was Sandy's boyfriend.
Oh, yes. Who did you think Ben was?
We just thought he was a random person in the friend group.
Oh, no.
I thought he was a random ass dude.
Oh, that's funny. No. Number one listener, Ben, Sandy's boyfriend.
Well, is he really the number one listener, though? I don't know.
The disrespect.
Well, he's never sent a question.
True. Here's my deal.
He asks them in person.
What I got out of this conversation is that they bought a house for 4 and they're now down to 2. So I think what she's saying is that when Brad moves out, you and we're moving in.
I don't think she said that, but her eyes are gleaming with happiness.
Oh, is that what that is? And not terror?
She didn't immediately throw up in the microphone. So
so therefore, that's happiness.
Yes. Oh, I immediately just went into shock. So and damage control.
Right.
That's what that was.
No, we need the space. Sorry.
I will say, she's like, I'm moving out. And I was like, okay, I'm turning your room into a closet. And she's like, fair. There's no closet space in this damn house. So it was very amicable.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad it wasn't some sort of rage thing where you're throwing her shit out on the front yard. And...
There's still time.
Well, it's true. Has all of her...
There is. There's still a lot of stuff here.
Oh, good. Yeah,
just still shit from Nick too. So.
Oh yeah, just throw it all out on the front yard.
Wait until it's just about to rain or snow, though.
Jesus,
neighbors will love that.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
We wish her the best. It's all good.
We wish her the best. She's leaving her family to spend more time with her family.
Right.
Absolutely.
I miss her puppy. Not that I would tell her that.
Oh, you'll miss her puppy?
Ben, tell Sandy when you listen to this that she has to leave the puppy.
Yeah, Ben.
Well, look, I don't want to take care of it. That was kind of a whole thing. I just miss its cute, wrinkly face.
Oh yeah, this was the French something.
Oh,
right?
The chongoidal dog.
Yes, Chungy.
Well, we'll miss Chungaloid, but what are you gonna do?
Chungaloid?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're calling him a mongoloid. Is he a mongoloid dog?
No, he's a chungaloid dog.
It's chungoidal,
I don't know. Anyway, the point is that this dog's leaving too.
Aww.
Sad. But
everyone's in mourning.
Right. Well,
would you like a replacement pet?
No, thank you.
Would you
hard pass.
Would you like us to mourn for you while we're at this funeral?
Yeah, go ahead and get all of the mourning out for me. I didn't know that was an option.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you know I'm going to go to this thing and just weep. I mean, just sob.
Uncontrollably.
Yeah, so I'm just going to sob. You know, the kind of sobbing where snot's running down your face.
Rending of clothes, tearing of hair.
Have we ever told you the story of the first time Brad and I saw your father cry?
No.
I don't remember that story.
Oh, it's a good one. So you may remember my black lab, Daisy.
Yes.
Yes. So when she passed, Peter was driving us to the shelter at the time, actually, because we were going to have them put her down because it was obviously her time. But she ended up passing on the way there.
Yeah, she croaked.
Yeah. So we get there, and of course, I've climbed into the back of the SUV, and I'm holding her. So I got to hold her while she died. So that was nice. But we get there, and, you know.
She's hoping the same for me.
Well,
maybe
we'll see
not.
about that.
Anyway.
So this guy's bringing out this cart to put the dog on, and I'm so distraught that I decide I'm going to put my own dog on this cart, not realizing dead weight's heavier than weight.
Oh, dude.
I drop my poor dog directly on her face on the concrete.
Luckily, she's dead, so she can't feel it.
She doesn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And
if she had anything left in her, yeah, it was gone then. So your father just burst into wailing, and Brad and I, because we are terrible people going straight to hell, started laughing while crying. And the more we laughed about it, the more upset Peter was, the more he was crying. Oh my God. It's one of the most...
The guy's just trying to get the dog on the cart, man. Right. He just wants out of this situation.
Right. It was the funniest, saddest moment of my life.
But here's the rest of the story. The rest of the story is that very day I had gotten my 50-year-old microscope up the ass checkup, which is what are they? It's like a colonoscopy. It's not a colon. Is it a colon? Yeah. So it was a colonoscopy. I got my first colon, and they put you out. They give you general anesthesia because they're sticking a camera up your asshole, okay? Right. And that apparently is quite painful if you're awake for it. So
yeah, if you don't have the anesthesia.
Right. So I was coming out of general anesthesia when all this was going on.
If you were driving?
No, I don't think I was.
No. Let me back this story up a bit because you were high that day, so you don't recall it as well. As we left that morning, I could tell it was going to be her day. So I decided, okay, if she still hasn't moved or eaten or drank or anything by the time we get home, we'll have to take care of things. Well, we got home and your dad clearly needed a nap. So he slept on the couch for the next 3-4 hours. I just sat on the floor next to the dog, working from home because I didn't request leave for that day. And then we waited till Brad got home from the bus. So by the time we did head off to the shelter, the drugs had worn off enough. Peter was lucid. It was fine. Until I dropped my dog on her face.
I should never have been driving. That's the moral of the story.
More importantly, he should not have been writing emails to work immediately afterward. And I kept trying to take his phone away from him. And he kept saying, "No, it's fine. I'm fine." No, you're not.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that. In any event, the dog died. And she dropped it on its face. And I cried.
And it was funny.
But I only cried because I was drugged.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, because you have no heart. Of course, you were like, yes, the dog is dead.
I'm the world's only living heart donor. Anyway, so I don't know why you told that story anyway.
We talked about you crying on her behalf.
Oh.
And I just want, you're quite I've only ever seen you cry that one time. But you really did it with gusto. You really,
true.
I appreciated the performance.
Yeah.
I'll sustain you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's when I do weep, I weep with deep emotion. I get all the snot out, everything. It is. It's one of those kind of deals.
Yeah. Pretty nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's what we're going to do today for you.
On behalf of the Chungaloid. Yeah. The Chungoidal edition. Hey, so speaking of questions, I got one for you.
Yeah.
So let's pretend for a moment that we're not all just dirt food after we croak, right?
All right.
Let's pretend for a moment, because it's fun to pretend. Let's pretend that heaven exists and that we're not going to hell. I realize this is all a bit of a stretch.
Right.
Okay. But
Right.
Suspension of disbelief is key here.
yes, and so then let's further imagine that heaven is whatever fabulous place we'd like it to be. Where is heaven for you?
That's a good question.
It's probably your basement, isn't it? The underground basement.
Fuck no. This basement is giving me so much stress. It's probably a campsite.
A campsite.
Yep. With endless firewood, but also a library right next door.
This is an oddly specific request.
Well, it's heaven. I've been good.
I earned this shit.
We are
I've
suspending.
got cozy clothes on and can sit by the fire and read to my heart's content. Also, it smells nice. Yeah, that's heaven.
Does it smell like pumpkin spice?
Yes, because I have an endless refillable latte permanently affixed to my left
Ooh,
hand.
That's a good choice.
Of pumpkin spice. A pumpkin spice latte.
Sometimes. Usually.
Well, no, it's permanent. I mean, it's heaven, so it's unchanging.
Well, is it though?
Yeah. Maybe my heaven changes. You don't know.
I guess I don't
It
know.
alternates between, it rotates flavors based on the author. That's what we're going to go with.
Oh, I see. Well, you've really exceeded expectations on this.
There you go. Well, okay, so what's yours?
Well, wait a minute. Where is this campsite? Is it in South Dakota?
Fuck, I don't know.
That's
It's
very
somewhere-
important.
Why?
Well, yeah, why?
Why? Well, because someone gets bragging rights. That's why.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. There's lots of campsites I haven't been to yet.
Right.
So
Are you
who knows
saying
where the best one is? Probably. Well.
I mean, you can only choose from what you've already experienced.
Oh, this
But
is like
not in
assuming I
heaven.
croak today, like
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, this time.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know if you're alive technically right now.
I mean, it is pretty freaking early on a Sunday.
True that.
Yeah, I mean, probably. South Dakota has the best trees.
Okay, there you go. South Dakota, almost heaven. Whoever heard that
Oh
before?
God, that is so misleading.
would you
So
call it?
is West Virginia, but there's a whole song about it.
Yeah,
I suppose.
yeah. Fake news. All right, Elsie, how about you?
I've got an image in my mind of a place I've never been, so I can't say it's a place I've been, but, there's mountains and lakes and shit. But the most important feature in my heaven is that there are unicorn and Pegasus, or Pegasi. So
Are they tame or are they wild? Do you spend your days chasing after them in hopes of one day calling one your own?
They do whatever the fuck I want. In my heaven, everybody and everything does whatever the fuck I want.
So it's like the whole dictatorship thing.
Actually,
yeah, it's heaven, right?
I was just going to say it's a lot like Earth, as it turns out.
But with unicorn and Pegasi.
Right.
So there you go.
I think unicorn and Pegasuses are the dominant feature of your heaven. Is that a fair statement?
That is fair.
Okay.
And people leave me alone when I want them to, so that's pretty awesome as well.
Okay, so that's not like Earth. No, that part isn't. I'm very demanding. Like, where are you? What are you doing?
What about your heaven?
My heaven is going to be almost heaven. West Virginia. No, it's not. As I recall,
It's a show. It's a stage. It's Broadway. That's you.
You know what? I think you're right.
Right. I'm in top hat and tails, dancing my ass off in front of a large crowd on Broadway. No, I think...
Never sweating.
What's that? Yeah.
But never sweating.
Always dancing, never sweating. That's my heaven. No, that sounds good, man. What a motto.
I do like it.
Yeah. I probably should just stick with that. I'm not going to get anything better.
No, Sarah knows you better than you know yourself.
That's so
apparently.
true. Yeah. Otherwise, though, I would say probably Hawaii, but not not Waikiki, not Honolulu. Too crowded.
Sans tourists.
Yeah. Hawaii circa Hawaii circa 1732 before Captain Cook and all
There
the
you go.
diseases and all that. I think, though, in order to experience that, I would have to, in heaven, be Hawaiian, which I'm willing to do.
Well, race is no issue.
No, not for me. No, not at all. Absolutely not. So, yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. Hawaii in the 1730s.
Wholesome.
You're right. Exactly. Just laying on a beach, playing my ukulele. I don't know if they had ukuleles in 17. I think that's a Western thing that got invented there. That got imported there, I mean. I don't think that they had...
Just bring your harmonica. We know you want to.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, 1730s, but with harmonica.
There you have it.
Yeah. No pumpkin spice. It's not Hawaiian.
Well, you're not as basic as some of us white girls.
I don't understand this whole basic bitch thing. What does that mean? Is there
Fuck it.
No, I don't know. What do you mean?
He's not on Instagram or Pinterest, so he doesn't know.
It's just, yeah. It's stereotypical.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if you look up stock photo of girl in autumn, you'll see a girl with a cowl neck sweater.
Yeah.
Ugg
Check.
boots.
Oh, I love Ugg boots.
Holding a mug, and the mug has its own crocheted, coverlet.
Yep, check.
She's standing right next to a tree that's in all of its glory. Behind her is a misty fog, just enough to leave an air of mystery, but also just enough clarity to allow some more color for the trees behind her to show through. And she's having some moment of live, laugh, and love, upon her face.
Huh.
Sipping her pumpkin spice latte.
Yes. That is a basic white bitch.
I see. Gotcha. Well, I would say this about that, which is this. If that's what makes you a basic bitch, I think it only applies to you vis-a-vis the pumpkin spice love.
Aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's the aesthetics.
It's the aesthetics. Right. Okay. I don't really get that because in many ways, your home is oftentimes not aesthetically pleasing. You have a Great Dane running around.
Wow.
Well, what do you mean, wow?
Wow.
I find Great Danes very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, but this one slobbers and leaves hair and shit all over the place. And this
you
is
don't have to bring my home into it. I was talking about my own personal appearance, but that's great. Thanks for that vote of confidence.
What? Was I insulting?
I have to clean a lot to keep it up to, some people's exacting standards.
Yeah, and I don't like to clean, which makes me sound like my house is filthy. Although I did spend yesterday, I spent probably 30 minutes wiping down the walls. So I guess that's fair.
Yeah, that's just to get rid of the Great Dane slobber.
Yeah, that is literally a chore I have to do. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that Ermac is not an aesthetically pleasing animal in terms of his leavings.
No,
but if you only see the Instagram picture of him next to the lady in the Ugg boots, then yeah, it adds to the whole, oh, wow,
basic,
she's so nice.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's
white girls and their dogs.
Yeah. Oh, how cute. Speaking of which, how's Wee Wee?
Evil. Still just radiating hatred and general malaise.
Yes. No. This evil hate-filled dog, by the way, is a Chihuahua. You are in fact, you are the only person I know who has both a Great Dane and a Chihuahua.
She's actually she's a Chihuahua and a Toy Fox Terrier, which is key because she's recently learned how to hunt mice.
Oh,
which is good because it's mouse season and we have chickens, which means we have mice.
Good skill.
So, yeah. She can get underneath the chicken coop and then she leaves them on the front porch like a cat. It's very cute.
Oh my gosh, it's darling. No, I like a dog who can catch a mouse.
Yeah. Yep. Living up to her terrier fame.
Because as you know, I hate Mises to pieces.
It was kind of funny, actually. This was a couple days ago. Nick was over and stepped outside on the porch to smoke a cigarette. He's like, what is squishy under my foot? Lifted up his shoe and there was a dead mouse. I'm like, oh, we left you a present.
Oh, how thoughtful. How nice. I think I would probably have instantly shit my pants.
He's like, what do I do with it? And we're like, just fling it into the neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
They love that.
Yeah.
Neighbors love that. Every day I go outside and look, is somebody throwing me a dead mouse today? No one has. No one ever has.
Our neighbors are assholes.
Right, clearly. Actually, our neighbor just said he was going to listen to this podcast, so thanks a lot.
Oh, Jesus.
Really? You told the neighbors about this podcast? Why do you hate freedom?
He backed me into a corner. It's like,
oh, Jesus.
What conversation?
Seriously, yeah. I need to know how this unfolded.
You moron. Well, I said, what do you got this sound booth for? I said, well, I do audio production,
How did the sound
leave
booth
it at
question come up?
Well, he was in my
House tour.
basement,
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
He was in your house.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I would never see you're already way closer with your neighbors than I ever have been.
Well, yeah, that's true.
The appropriate thing would have been to leave it at that. I do voiceovers.
Well, I should have. Yeah.
So then you said, no, I do a pod. And he said, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the point is I told him it's explicit. It's with my adult children. Don't ever, ever listen to it around your child.
Did you also say it's very inappropriate and please also don't listen to my wife and please don't judge us?
No, I didn't say any of those things, but I probably should have.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Yeah, you've done it. They've seen your true face.
Yeah, now we're never going to get invited over for pumpkin spice latte at their place. I'll tell you that.
Actually, maybe that's for the best then.
It may be.
But we do have to list him as a neighbor for your secret clearance. So.
No, stop it. All right, anyway. I forget what I was talking about.
I don't know. We talked about what did you guys watch this week?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that real quick. We did not watch anything. We watched a couple more episodes of Fleabag. That's getting like darker and darker, but still comic. And what else did we watch? Probably nothing.
We didn't watch anything. Well, we did watch the Broncos humiliate themselves.
Oh my
but
God.
anyway, you don't care about that. What is interesting is that for a long time, a girlfriend of mine named Amanda has been saying, you've got to watch The Good Place. You've got to watch The Good Place. And I've been like, nah, no. But then at work here lately, I've had actually some uninterrupted time to just actually work. And I usually listen to music or the pod or something, but I've gotten bored with all of that. So I put The Good Place on Netflix, and it is hilarious. So your question about what is your heaven like? It's just a very funny show. I actually do highly recommend it.
The Good Place. Did you just belch?
I did. I'm sorry.
Oh
I
my
hope you
God.
didn't do that, Sarah.
We would have known.
It came right through my headset.
Ice rattling in the cup or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it was ice rattling in the cup that sounded just like Elsie belching. All right, anyway, so The Good Place, last season on NBC right now, streaming on Netflix, first 3 seasons. You can peep that.
Featuring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell. So entertaining. All right, so there you go.
How about you?
We did not go to the movies this week because we were helping Sandy move. But last night, instead of having dinner like grown-ups, we made some coffee cake and had that for dinner and watched Bad Boys.
Bad Boys?
What's that?
Terrible movie.
It's a terrible movie.
We'd never seen it. And, Bad Boys 3 or whatever is coming out. And so we're like, all right, we'll watch it.
Isn't Bad Boys the Will Smith, Martin...
yeah, Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence vehicle from like...
95, yes.
Oh, okay.
We were going to watch Beetlejuice, but I didn't want to pay $9 for it. So
you have to pay $9 to watch Beetlejuice?
Nobody should have to pay $9 to see Beetlejuice.
It's okay. It's $4 to rent or $9 to buy, and I'm no sucker.
Right.
Right. So you want to spend the $9 to own it, if indeed you're going to spend any money at all.
Right. Exactly. But I didn't. So Bad Boys it was.
I see. Well, I'm so sorry. I did read a book called Ezekiel with the E, spelt like a 3. So, and it was a story of first contact between aliens and humanity. It was okay. I'd give it a C. It was average because it did not meet my expectations because it ended up being more of a survival story than it was a first contact story. Mm. Yeah.
I read some poetry this week, but I don't, nothing spectacular.
Nothing that made you sob or transported you to a higher plane of existence.
No. So I guess what's the difference between poetry and prose?
Poetry and prose is just, like writing a story. That's prose. Poetry is, I don't know.
To have form and all that kind of shit. I don't know. So did you ever read the book Crank?
No, I did not read the book Crank. Who wrote the book Crank?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is that book was written kind of like, it was a thick book, but it was all poetry that told a story or whatever. Yeah. So I read a book similar to that in format about some high school drama. It was fine. And then another one written like that about these kids moving from some big city to Maine, featuring cows heavily. So it was also fine.
I see. Took you out of your own miserable existence for a while. And
Well,
into
yeah,
somebody
about 20
else's.
minutes at the salon. Yeah, I did start and finish both of those books at the salon.
Oh, I see. Well, that's the way to do it then.
Yeah.
So while you transformed your hair, you also opened up your mind.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Well, so we bought tickets to see the Lumineers when they come to town in February. And as part of this ticket purchase, we got CDs of their latest album. And I'll say that while it doesn't have as many catchy songs that we're all used to from the Lumineers, they've done like their own operetta. It's a story in 3 parts. So in that regard, I did enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Elsie enjoying it.
I listened to it. It was all right.
She put a copy
like
in
you said, different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right.
She put a copy in my car, but I mean, I got to unwrap it then, and I got to stick the CD in the player. What a hassle. Am I right?
I don't even have a CD player anymore. I literally don't think I have a way to listen to a CD right now. My computer doesn't have a CD slot. None of my cars have CD slots.
Really? The Durango doesn't have a CD slot? I'm shocked at that. Really?
It has an SD card.
Oh, well, I see.
But not as I don't have anything to burn the fucking songs from the CD onto this media card.
Wow. The era of the CD is over.
I could maybe put it in my PlayStation.
Yeah, maybe
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that. All right. No. So, well, all right then. That's it. That's all we've listened to. That's all we've read. That's all we've seen. Man, what a boring week. Seemingly just terrible. And yet, yes.
We're watching Sopranos and we're in season 4 and it's finally getting good. People are dropping dead left and right.
It only took till season 4, huh?
Well, I mean, it's fine. Sopranos is fine all around. But this season's been the most interesting. Interesting thing about Bad Boys has lots of people from The Sopranos in it. Really?
And yet The Sopranos is good and Bad Boys, you said, sucked. So are you telling me that writing makes a difference in whether or not something is entertaining?
What?
Huh.
Bad Boys was fine. I'm sure it was, a comedic vehicle of 95. It's just the movie made no goddamn sense.
As so many of them don't. Well, we did watch some sporting things this week, and the thing that we are both most disappointed, Elsie alluded to it, but the Denver Broncos suck. And it's disappointing because we're both Broncos fans. But to get your asses kicked 30-6 at home, when, by the way, the Chiefs were playing with a backup quarterback for most of that game, it's embarrassing.
There's an altitude difference.
It's just embarrassing on so many levels.
Wow.
So, yeah.
We went down on Friday to watch fights because they did fights on Friday instead of Saturday and fucked us all up.
Yeah.
And I don't remember a whole lot because I slept through a couple of them. But that girl, Macy Barber, fought some girl whose nickname was The Savage, and she cut her up. Did good. Proud of her.
Okay, good. Way to go, Macy Barber.
4-0 in the UFC now.
4-0. Well, she's getting someplace. Actually, at 5-0, they start giving them, they start really matching them with top contenders.
She was on the main card, and her professional fight record is now 8-0.
I see.
4-0 in the UFC.
Yeah.
But I was discussing this with Murphy. Okay, her name's Macy the Future Barber because she's 21.
Yeah.
But I said she really missed an opportunity. She should have been called Macy the Barber. Or no, the Carver Barber. Her last name's Barber.
Yeah.
Macy the Carver Barber because she pieces people up with their fucking elbows, man.
Or they could have called her Macy the Haircut Barber.
Could have, but that doesn't have quite the same.
Right, because I'm going to cut your hair with my elbows.
That's right.
Or something.
Yeah.
No one's interested in that. Okay. Well, Macy Barber, good for you. That's what I say. I say good for you, Macy Barber. Well done.
Oh, and there was another interesting thing on there. I was definitely asleep for, but read about it after. The what is his name? Greg Hardy, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, former player for Dallas.
Yes, yeah. Well, he also had a fight on the main card, and technically won by split decision. But he asked the athletic commissioner in between rounds if he could use his inhaler, and the athletic commissioner said sure. But that's basically just he took oxygen between rounds and then subsequently won. Well, after the fight, they changed it to a disqualification. Not disqualification, no contest.
Really? So it's a no contest for Greg Hardy.
Yep, because he had medical assistance between rounds.
Well, I don't find him to be a good human being because he beat women's asses. That's why he's not in the NFL anymore. Yeah. He's a bad guy. He's a villain.
Yeah. And he's a shitty fighter.
Well, there you go.
He's a dirty fighter.
What a shock.
Yeah. Imagine that.
And other quick UFC news, Conor McGregor called out Dana White because Dana White basically said, hey, Conor is no longer the man in UFC, and he's not. He hasn't fought in the UFC since 2016, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or 2017. Yeah. And I believe Nurmagomedov beat his ass. Submitted them in the 4th round. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
So why is Conor McGregor getting upset?
It's all kind of just, it's all about the money for Conor.
Well, the dude hasn't fought.
All about the publicity and the money.
Dude hasn't fought in over 2 years.
I don't know what was said or what wasn't said.
Look, just come down on Conor.
I'm not defending anyone here.
I think you should just go ahead and blame Conor for this one. In any event, yeah, because he's got now a second sexual assault charge pending against him in Ireland, by the way.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Ireland, fun question. If you had to live through one of, the great tragedies of the world, which one would it be? The potato famine, the bubonic plague, witch trials? What you got?
If we're going to live...
Yeah, if you've got to go through something terrible, which one are you picking? Spanish flu? I don't know. So we're
going to wrap up the episode with something dark, as is appropriate for the pumpkin spice episode.
Fuck.
Well, I'm going to give you a second to answer that question, because you know what the bubonic plague puts me in mind of? That's right, Ziffs. Ziffs, fine, relaxed continental dining in Invercargill, New Zealand. If you've got to suffer through the bubonic plague, don't you want to do so with some freshly slain kiwi and some delicious koala pancakes? Yes, that's right. You can get all that and more at Ziffs in Invercargill, New Zealand. Proud fake sponsor of a Shin Show for more than 100th of a century.
I find it interesting that the bubonic plague made you think of that and not the potato famine.
Yeah, it is odd, isn't it? But then after your meal at Ziff's, head on over to the throne room and get yourself a celebratory tattoo for surviving the plague. That's right, heavy tattoos and light ones at the throne room. Also in Invercargill, New Zealand, also a fake sponsor of a Shin Show for more than 100th of a century. And now the Chihuahua Terrier mix Lily joins us on a Shin Show and says the following.
She's breathing heavily. You just can't hear it.
Yeah, she can't talk. She's a dog. I don't know what I'm thinking here. Dogs don't talk. I know this. I should have known anyway. Dog doesn't say anything. Anyway, very cute animal. Very cute. Championship mouse.
If I had to pick some sort of mass hysteria to live through, let's go with the Salem witch trials.
Oh, you're going to live through that? Are you going to live through that by accusing some other people of being witches, yo?
And just Salem or anywhere? Because there was a lot of that going on in Spain and England at the same time,
yeah,
too.
Well, yeah. The whole Inquisition thing. Now we'll just do Salem.
Okay, Salem only.
Home of pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
I see how she's bringing this around.
Let's do the American witch hunt, okay?
Right. You know why? Because the American witch hunt is the greatest, the best witch hunt ever.
Ongoing, from what I hear.
Yeah, good point.
Oh. All right, so why that one?
Because shit, man, I don't know. Because
I thought of it first.
Yeah. Look, so it's supposedly they thought that might have happened because of some tainted water supply or whatever, the mass hysteria. I thought that was interesting.
Okay,
because
good.
I've read about it. I'm most familiar with it. That's why.
Yeah, and plus, let's face it, you're going to survive through that because you're going to be drinking nothing but Aquafina.
That's right. I'm going to bring my own bottled water. Let's be real.
Yeah, for sure. You might have heard that sound. That's the sound of my fantasy team sucking, by the way. I'm sure that's what that is. Okay, anyway. So, Elsie, how about you?
I asked the question, you answer.
Okay, so I would live through the... you know what was a real Holocaust? World War II. I'd live through that.
Jesus, why would you want to?
Well, he's not Jewish, so he's got a leg up there.
I guess.
You don't know then. You don't know.
Pretty sure it would have come up by now.
You'd think that, wouldn't you? But you don't know. So in any event, yeah, World War II. I'd live through that because that's my area of interest. So there you go. I'm interested in it.
There you go.
Yeah. I'd like to be part of the... Yeah, I'd like to be part of the greatest generation. Instead, I'm part of the most mediocre generation.
Were they really the greatest, though?
I don't know. I guess so. They did. They did some good things. You know, they survived the Depression and defeated Hitler and Imperial Japan. So I'd say that's a pretty good track record. Then went on.
Rah, rah.
Yeah. Then went on to build the greatest economy in the world. I mean, so they did pretty good. Yeah. All right. They're all right.
Shitty kids, though.
Yeah. Well, you know, look, maybe they're just the grapist generation because they like grapes the most. No.
Okay.
All right. Sure. All right. How about you?
After careful consideration, you know, Pompeii came to mind. Maybe some of like the whole tribal fighting that happened during the fall of the Roman Empire would be interesting. But I think I got to go potato famine because A, great weight loss program. B, emigrate to America. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But you're already American, so how does that benefit you?
Well, see, I wouldn't be American in this premise originally because I would be in Ireland starving to death on that great weight loss program.
Right. So, in other words,
come over here and get beat up by Italians and stuff.
She's starting her own lineage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. So you're
this is a whole Futurama. She is her own grandmother thing.
Yeah. She's a fantasy Irish woman. That's what she is.
Fantasy and, you know, lineage wise.
Yeah. Well, anyway. All right. So potato famine it is. I'm going to pass on the potato famine. Anything with famine in it, I don't know. I'm a hungry boy.
Is it better to be shot? I mean, you're living. You chose war.
You weren't eaten large in World War II.
Well, that's true, but I mean, I'm imagining myself surviving World War II in relative comfort. You know.
Oh, you're an officer.
Right.
I got it.
Yeah. Sitting around in his Jeep eating his roast beef.
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
Rations.
I mean, I'm thinking about just living back on the home front, obviously. I mean, reading all about it in the papers, but contemporaneously, you know.
I think that's not really truly at the heart of the question or the premise, but all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to rough it smoothly. That's what I'm trying to do. It's kind of like Sarah's Heaven, you know?
Right. Rough it smooth. That's exactly right.
That's exactly right. Well, anyway, you got anything else for us today, Sarah?
Nope.
Not a thing. I'm surprised you had this much, I'll be honest with you.
Wow. Thanks. Your faith in me is astounding.
Well, I mean, it is early on a Sunday.
It's true.
It is true. There's no question about that. Well, in any event, yeah, so have a great week. You have a great week. I'll have a great week. We'll all have a great week.
Enjoy
Also,
your funeral.
Not that it was a contest or anything, but this does prove you're the best child.
It's so true.
It's true. I showed up.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of points for that, for sure.
Must be present to win.
Yeah, you must be. And let me just say this about all of that, which is this, that I don't remember what I was going to say now. So thank you for being here. That's the whole point. Right? All right. That was a thumbs up that no one could see. A Shin Show is a production of Shinfluence, which is entirely and exclusively something about something, I don't know.
Don't judge us, Garrett, and don't listen.
Yeah. Anyway, point is, the opinions expressed herein are our own and no one else's. You can join us each week on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, wherever you get your podcasts and whatever. Anyway, good to see you, and join us next week when we'll hear Elsie Shin say something along the lines of...
If you're listening, Garrett, turn it off right now.
Good one. All right. Love you, honey.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice.